It was very tough for the team, and you really feel for CB because you know how much the game means to him. And then when you have somebody that you love and care about so much that's going through something they can't control, you just really feel for him. And it was a tough year emotionally, for this team. Starting with Coach Smart when he had to take a leave of absence for his cancer. I've never been through anything like that. We're just reflecting right now about the meeting in my office when he told the coaching staff. That was a tough blow. We had strange things that would happen during the course of the year. One game, I only had 2 assistant coaches because of deaths and Keith's situation. But at the same time, it was an extremely gratifying year, and it was a special year from the standpoint that everything that we went through, we really developed some relationships and friendships, through this almost 8 months of a season. We're all disappointed about the final result. We will always have bigger expectations here at the Heat, no matter who's out there. But we also realize that when you spend 8 months together with a group of guys, that you hope that you have seasons where you develop friendships and relationships like this, and you can see guys bond, you can see guys sacrifice for each other, you can see guys enjoying someone else's success. For me as a head coach, I get obviously evaluated on the final result, and that's what I'll live with the final, the next 3-4 months. But with that said, as a coach, I also see gratification when you observe your team growing, fighting through adversity together, enjoying each other's success and company. Those are the things that I'll take with me. They'll be lasting memories for a long time as a coach.
Erik, the other part of that, what does the Miami Heat team and you as a coach know right now about Chris Bosh's status going forward?
No, there's nothing new. Right now, we're just going to get away, decompress a little bit, and we'll come back together as we always do and start preparing for the next season. I've been here. I've been fortunate enough to be here working for Pat and Mickey in this organization for 21 years. We've had 21 off seasons, so it's not the first time that we're going through an off season. We feel excited about the possibilities. We feel excited about the growth of this team. And when we get to that point, we'll start preparing as we always do, with the same expectations that we always have.
How do you build your off-season, though, with such a great player and such an unknown? When you always talk about in the off-season, you rethink everything, you recalibrate. So what's it like?
It's the second day right now. I haven't even gotten away. So I'm still thinking about games 2 and 3 and 7. When we get to that point, we've put together teams with all different circumstances for 21 years. This will be another offseason that'll have its own inherent challenges, and we embrace all of that, putting together teams, and we'll see what happens with free agency and the guys that we're bringing back. I'm really excited about the young guys we have under contract. Obviously, they got great experience this year, but they earned it, and they responded on the court with great competitiveness, but they also, what I found joy in, is they responded in a locker room full of veterans, and they earned their stripes. That was very cool to see. It's not just the players enjoying each other's success. As a staff, we haven't been in this situation very often. This is the first time for me as a head coach that someone on my staff has interviewed somewhere else, and somebody that's so dear to me. But he's ready. He's prepared. I'm nervous. He's fine. He's prepared. We were, hanging out all night last night preparing, and I love Fizz. I want him to get his opportunity. All of us are rooting for him. Hopefully it happens. If it doesn't, he's got a great gig here, and he has great impact on our success.
Obviously, with the progress we saw with Justice, so many good things, as well as some development with the jump shot, which people cite as something that needs development. Erik, do you see any need for any fundamental changes in his release, in his technique, in his mechanics with threes, or do you think no change is needed, just repetition?
It's always a little bit of both, but we're really looking forward to the offseason. We'll bring back Justice at the beginning of June, and we'll start that process. We love player development, and he's a very willing worker, so he'll embrace all of it. It's not just that. People will be focusing just on technique, but player development for us is all-encompassing. So we'll have several weeks of work with him. He is relentless, so he's going to put in the time improving 2 or 3, 4 facets of his game, and I think he'll come back a new and improved player in those areas.
Do you see any opportunity for Richardson, Winslow to maybe be in Summer League again, or do you think that?
Well, they'll be part of at least some of it. Whether or not they play in a full complement of games, I doubt that. But they'll be part of the workouts and potentially a handful of games.
What did you get?
That's part of player development with us.
What did you get from the second half of the season, the offense that you guys ran, and how much do you think that will be part of the future of this team?
I think it's too early to tell. But if Goran Dragic is on your basketball team, you want to leverage his strengths as much as possible. But I thought he really improved in a lot of areas, even in the beginning of the year. He had to run a team that was different than the teams that he had been successful on, but I think that helped him immensely during the playoffs. He learned how to execute half-court basketball, get the ball where it needs to go, find different ways to be aggressive than just the open court. And then when we were able to play a different pace and tempo after the All-Star break, I think he had now an improved skill set to be able to play multiple styles of basketball, which is absolutely a necessity in the playoffs. You can't just play one style. I've really enjoyed seeing Goran's growth as a basketball player, now as a true winner. He's learning how to impact winning on both sides of the floor and proving that he can do it at the highest level in the playoffs. He's been a joy to coach.
You need him to be more assertive and authoritative on that team.
In what way?
Just vocally.
Well, everybody leads in a different way. He doesn't have to lead in a personality that's not him. Leadership can be a lot of different things. Leadership can be your voice. It can be actions. It can be nonverbal. It can be an extremely loud voice. It can be your body language. It can be your preparation. All of those things. And I think he's growing as a leader, finding out different ways that he can lead in his own way, in his own personality. That's the part of coaching I like. Helping guys become the best that they can be and impact winning. He's been terrific. Well, we'll get to July when we get to July, but in the meantime, he's going to be spending a lot of time in our building, still doing rehab treatment, and then we're fully open, as we always are, to player development all the way up until that date. But I anticipate spending some more time with us in the immediate future, as he gets healthy.
Erik, do you expect surgery for Hassan at all, or any off-season
No.
surgeries for anyone else?
No, not right now.
Erik, Josh mentioned, Richardson mentioned about wanting to improve court vision, point guard skills. How can he work on that in a one-on-one type setting over the summer? That's tougher, obviously, than just shooting 300 jumpers.
Yeah, that's one of the elements of player development, and that'll be with the summer league workouts, other workouts that we have. But he'll be working on 2 or 3 other things as well all summer long.
Erik, when you look at the three-point shooting in the league and how that every team seems to be being a three-point shooter?
It may not. You know what? I think people get caught up, and you can even see it clearly in the playoffs. There are no absolutes. People try to make absolutes out of the game, that you have to play a certain style, you have to have this. Teams are built differently. Teams can win different ways. That seems to be the trendy thing right now, and we used to have a team that was very successful doing that. The most important thing is finding the best fits around the players you currently have, and can players bring out the best in each other? And then as a team, can you bring out the best? That's the most important thing than specific styles of play. We'll see. We'll address it. Like I said, we've been through off seasons 21 times. So once we get away and decompress, we'll re-energize and get absolutely enthused about player development. 21 summers involved in player development, developing every single kind of player in different ways. And then when we get to July, we'll get enthusiastic about free agency and all of that for the 22nd time, right? Yep.
Amari said Sunday that he was upset about his playing.
Yeah.
I don't know if he means for the entire season or for the last playoff series, but did you and him talk about that?
No, but we're going to have our exit meeting. I'm fine with that. He should be. That's I want our players wired like that. I've never had a problem with players. First of all, we don't seek out players that like to sit on the bench. Those aren't the guys that help you win big games. And the thing about Stat is I really enjoyed him this year. I did. It was a different role than he was used to, and I think he had a great impact as a veteran presence and leadership in a different culture. He's a funny personality in the locker room. He's a guy that brings people together. He embraced every role. So from a team standpoint and a coaching standpoint, I really enjoyed working with him. He has every right to feel that way, or anybody else if they're not playing. But Ethan, it's too early, even right now with Justice. That's why I didn't want to fully commit to what we're going to try to improve. We've been through a lot of off seasons with player development. The one thing I know, you can't improve 10 things. If you get very specific with 2 or 3 things, that we have great confidence in our staff and our history, our culture of work, and 21 summers of doing it, we have great confidence that we can improve specific areas. But you have to also give great thought and not fly by the seat of your pants. It's too early right now for me to commit to what we're going to try to improve with any of the guys right now, but there will be a commitment. I can guarantee you that, and with the young guys as well.
What was the progression of your relationship with Hassan over the course of this year?
I enjoyed that too. Hassan's a great personality. He's a unique personality. I haven't coached many guys like him before. He's not a guy that fits in your conventional, stereotypical box. And he forced me to become a better coach in a lot of different ways. Learning how to motivate him and inspire him, connect and communicate with somebody that's a different personality. We spent a lot of time together. And that was last season. We spent an incredible amount of time during the summer. And then during the course of the season, and it was, getting to know somebody at a real level. When you're dealing with competition, you're dealing with emotions, you're dealing with the highs and lows, you're dealing with when things aren't working the way you want them to work. But he was great. He was willing to work on things. He might do it in a different way than some other guys I've coached, but I embrace that. I like that. I like having different guys in the locker room and figuring out, how they get the best out of themselves. Hassan's he's a fun personality. He's different, as he always says, and it's true.
A couple more questions, guys. Erik, you guys had such an interesting relationship with Weber as well, bringing him in at a time when he wasn't
Yeah.
healthy enough to
Right.
What did you see over the course of this year?
I like him.
What do you think as far as his future?
Right. We liked him. Well, I should say Chet and his staff really liked him out of the draft last year, but the knee injury precluded that. So we just kept an eye on him. Then when we brought him, I started watching a lot of film of him during the summer just to see why Chet liked him so much, and I can see why. He's a Heat-type guy. We have a great group of young guys that'll be working their tails off this summer. These guys are beasts. They'll work, and he's wired that way. Okay.
How do you characterize the way that these 2 years have gone with Josh Roberts? I know you guys had such big ideas bringing him in. Where do you think he fits going?
I love the way Josh McRoberts plays the game. I love the way he thinks the game. I love his skill set. And again, it's a unconventional skill set that for some average eye, you don't see necessarily what he brings to the game. But he brings winning plays. He makes players better with his passing ability, his vision, his ball handling, his overall skill set for somebody his size. I like it. I think he played his best basketball at the end of the year. At the beginning of both years, it was unfortunate that he wasn't healthy. But I think you're starting to see why guys like playing with him so much. I think that's the ultimate compliment for a player is when all your teammates love playing with you. How else would you want to be complimented? When everybody wants you in the game. He's tough, he's competitive, but he makes the game easier for people. Okay? Thanks. We'll see you soon. Thank you for everything.